The Pentateuch consists of the first 5 books of the Old Testament and is the foundation of the Bible. It used to be known as the Book of Moses or the 5 Books of Moses.
The books of Exodus to Deuteronomy provide a bibliography of Moses, and it is believed that he was the main author. In the Judaic tradition, they are collectively known as the Torah, which means instruction. Although the Pentateuch contains many laws, it is essentially narrative, with episodes of law-giving. In a broader sense, though, all of the Pentateuch can be seen as instruction, for it teaches as much through the history it records by the law it gives.
After Moses' death, the books were given to the priests, the sons of Levi, who then placed the books next to the Ark of the Covenant in the tabernacle.
The Pentateuch is not simply the beginning of the Bible. It serves to orient the reader with the rest of the biblical storyline by introducing theological ideas and ethical principles that lay the groundwork for the coming of Christ.
The book of Joshua is believed to be written at Joshua's command, or by Joshua himself. The book of Psalms is a collection of 150 poems. The Psalms titles often include directions, historical notes, and maybe even the identity of the author.
The Hebrew word that is translated to of in English can mean belonging to, authored by, or about, depending on its context. Interpreting the title, a Psalm of David, in this way yields that David is the most common author of the Psalms, appearing in title 73 of 150. Other authors include the sons of the Korah, Asaph, Solomon, and Moses. David's authorship corresponds well with the biblical testimony.
The book of Proverbs is closely linked to King Solomon, although he isn't the only author.
The peace and prosperity that characterized the era accord well with the development of reflective wisdom and literary works. Solomon is also credited with authorship of Psalm 72, and although there is no historical evidence, he may have also written Ecclesiastes and Song of Songs.
Isaiah is often considered one of the greatest of the writing prophets.
Most of the events in chapters 1 to 39 of the book of Isaiah occurred during his ministry, which began in 740 BC and ended at his death in around 681 BC. It is assumed that he recorded his prophetic vision in chapters 40 to 66 in his later years. The beauty of Isaiah's poetry is unsurpassed in the Old Testament.
The book of Daniel was primarily historical and was written in 2 languages, Hebrew and Aramaic respectively.
Although no Aramaean kingdom ever existed, Aramaic became the spoken language in the region at that time due to the developmental of various influential Aramaean states. Daniel may have written a second part for the Jews in exile in Babylonia, which would offer some explanation for the change in language.
In 400 BC, the Old Testament canon was completed.
There is not enough evidence to form a complete history of the Old Testament, but it is clear that it developed as a growing collection of sacred writings with 2 divisions. The first section, the Pentateuch, was preserved by the tabernacle priests alongside the Ark of the Covenant. The second part, the books of the prophets, was gradually added until after Malachi, the full set of books was canonized.
The Septuagint is the oldest complete version of the Old Testament and the earliest Greek translation.
The Septuagint is the version of the Old Testament that was read by Jesus and the apostles, and most New Testament quotations are taken directly from it. The Septuagint remains the official text of the Greek Church and was also used as reference for early Latin translations, which were adopted by the Western Church.